Alright, for number 7, they give you one polynomial, which they name f of x using function notation, and they ask you to find the next polynomial here, g of x, in order to get a total of 4x squared plus 5x minus 3. So you could set this up. F of x, we'll leave room to write that in, plus g of x, which we're going to have to figure out, is equal to this total here, which is 4x squared plus 5x minus 3. So let's fill in what we know so far. We know f of x because they gave that to us. The first polynomial is x squared plus 5x minus 9. So we're going to have to add something to that in order to get 4x squared plus 5x minus 3. There's two ways you can actually do this. One way is to use guess and check. You can figure out what the missing terms here are in order to get that total, or a mathematical way to do this besides guess and check is to take the total, which is 4x squared plus 5x minus 3, and then subtract it from what you're already given, and make sure when you subtract you put it in parentheses, because whenever you subtract you have to apply distributive property. If you subtract that, you will get the missing polynomial. So if you want to use guess and check, we'll do both methods here. We'll start with this first term, x squared. So if I have 1x squared, how many more x squareds do I have to add to get a total of 4x squareds? Well, 1 plus 3 more would give me 4x squareds total. So this first term is 3x squared. The next term, I have 5x's. What do I have to add to that in order to get 5x's? Well, to stay 5x's, I can't add anything. So in fact, there's going to be 0 x's here. You don't have to write plus 0 x's, because if it's non-existent, we don't include it. So we're down to the last term here. So if I have negative 9, or 9 negatives, how much do I add to get a total of? How much do I need to add to get a total of 3 negatives? Well, if I'm decreasing in negatives, this value here has to be positive. So if I'm decreasing in negatives, how many negatives did I decrease by? By 6 in order to get a total of just 3 negatives. So this needs to be positive 6. So in fact, this would be our missing binomial here. If you wanted to find it using a mathematical way instead of guess and check, you would take the total and subtract it from what you were given. So let's do that. So the first polynomial here, I'm going to rewrite it, 4x squared plus 5x minus 3. And then if I distribute a negative 1 to all 3 terms, a negative 1 just changes the sign of all 3 terms inside the parenthesis. So I have negative x squared minus 5x plus 9, changing the sign of all 3 terms. Alright, from here you just combine like terms. So 4x squareds minus 1x squareds, that's 3x squareds. So far it matches our answer that we got in that second blank. Combining the x's now. Let's see. I have 5x's minus 5x's. Well, that's a 0 pair. They actually cancel each other out. And then lastly, we have negative 3 plus 9. Negative 3 plus 9, or you could say 9 minus 3. That's equal to 6. So we got the same answer as if we use guess and check. It's up to you what method you want to use.